The apples are looking really good this year. We've got quite a few set on, but we also have quite a bit of bug damage. I don't know if you can see. It's hard to see these because they're green, but you can see that looks like bug damage right there on that apple. Again, I don't spray anything, so whatever we get, we get. Whatever the bugs get, they get. This is one of the trees in the front yard. I have no idea what this tree is, what variety. This other tree here in the front yard, I believe, is a Macintosh. My wife and I planted creeping phlox at the base of these two trees in the front, just so I don't have to mow right up against them. I think it'll be really pretty when they grow out. So this is the first year for our peach trees to produce. That one doesn't have anything on it, but these others do. This is Reliance. There's quite a bit of bug damage on these two. I'm pretty sure it's plum cucuрлio. You can see the sap running out of the peach. That's where they bit it. So we may not have any fruit off of these at all, the way it's looking. But at least we had fruit set, so we know they can survive the frosts. We had 3 frosts in the time that these were in bloom, and they were hard frosts too, like really bad. So, orange quince. This tree's been in the ground for a few years. It seems quince are fairly slow growers. This one's a conching quince. Had vole damage at the base. Thought sure it was going to die, but it seems to be still alive. It had blooms on it this year. I don't know if that is going to be a fruit or not, but I guess we'll wait and see. It'd be nice to have at least one fruit off of it so I can try a quince for the first time. I've never eaten quince. This is Franklin cider. It seems like the Franklin cider apples have less bug damage. And it's kind of interesting that you can walk along and see the different varieties of apples and the different amounts of bug damage on them. Because the bugs prefer certain varieties. So that's a clue as to what varieties a person should plant in their area. This is a new tree from Trees of Antiquity, and it's doing really good. You can see I took it back to 3 scaffolds down low. I left that scaffold there. I don't know if I'm going to keep that one permanently or not, but it's okay for now. And then I left a central leader, which will eventually be cut off, and then it'll just have, this will be I'm putting all my trees to delayed open center, and when it's possible anyway. So this is going to work out pretty good, I think. I lost a spreader on there. These are spreaders I bought on Amazon. And they work pretty good, but the wind will blow them off sometimes. St. Edmund's pippin. This thing is very prolific this year. All three of my St. Edmund's pippin put on fruit sets. At the tip of, it was at the tip of every limb. One deer did get in here and ate the tips off of, I think it was all three of these trees, like 2 or 3 limbs each tree. They got the tips of, this was one of the tips that they chewed off. Now see, this has got a double tip coming out now. I'm not sure if I want to leave that or not. Actually, it's triple tip coming out, new growth. I think I'll probably knock that back, one of them back, this other one, because they were coming up directly together. I knocked this one back a little bit so that this one will get all the growth and it'll extend out, hopefully. We have a lot of beautiful new growth. I love seeing that. One that I'm really excited about is Roxbury russet. We're going to have some Roxbury russet apples this year to eat. I've never tried it, and I'm really excited to. Remember from one of my first videos, this little Roxbury russet apple tree here took off in a weird shape. It's like it didn't have, what do they call that? The apical dominance. It didn't have any of that, it seemed like, because everything was going sideways. And now it's finally sending up a central leader, sort of. So I just said, well, I'm just going to let it be and let it do what it's going to do and just see. And it's kind of neat the way it's growing. Everything's down low. You can pick everything easy. It's pretty interesting. And there's apples all over this thing. It's just loaded. This is one white pearmain. This was a Trees of Antiquity purchase. Another honey gold. Then we get into the, let's see, no, this one's a golden russet here. Prime example of plum cucuрлio damage. It's a crescent shaped bite. Duchess of Oldenburg. I was going to shape this tree. I was going around cutting limbs off and stuff, and it looked like every limb on this tree had apples on it. And I desperately want to try this apple to see what it tastes like because it's so beautiful. And I think I'm just going to leave it alone this year, and then next spring I'll take a lot of those limbs out and force it to have nice big scaffolding branches. The bugs definitely love this apple, and that sucks because I really wanted to try these. I hope there was at least one apple out of it. It's still got a blossom. Now see, this is a good example of how I want to shape my trees. There's a little too many limbs down low because I didn't want to cut the apples off, but next year I'll definitely take that down to 3 or 4. And then up here you can see it goes up a ways, and then you have a central leader with 3 or 4 more outward scaffolds. And next year when I take those off at the bottom, I'll take that central leader off too. And then maybe even pull some of these limbs down to force them out. Here we have a 2017 graft that didn't take, and I'm trying my very first cleft graft. So I hacked the tree off completely and split it in the middle and put cleft grafts on of Wolf River. I bought a Wolf River at Lowe's this year, and I pruned it up and I put some of the scion wood on there. It's still green, so far so good. These vole baits, they didn't work for the longest time. Nothing got in there and ate it at all. And then now they're starting to eat it. So that's good. At least my purchase wasn't totally wasted. I think I have 5 or 6 of those scattered out around. This one's Harrelson. Has nice big fruits, but they do have bug bites. Look at these fruit. Very nice. Caterpillar damage, look at that. Where's my birds? It's not real bad though. No need to make a big deal out of something like that. We have fruit. The limbs on these trees have always been real whippy, real long and like limber, like a limber twig. It makes me wonder if these are really Esopus Spitzenberg or not. Pull that down a little harder. See, that puts that limb out real nice. And then I can choose later if I want to keep it as a scaffold. This one's already got 3 really nice scaffolds at the bottom. If I can just get that one there to go out instead of down, which that's the good thing about this tree is it's really limber. So I can pull that down even if it gets really big. Or I could take that whole thing off down to that and let that go. It's going straight out. I'll decide that next spring. This one's new. I bought at Lowe's this year. Macintosh. Pretty nice tree. I need to take that bamboo support out. I've been tying the limbs down and shaping it. This is that Wolf River. Same thing, bought at Lowe's this year. Then we get to Cox's Orange Pippin. One fruit all the way at the top. This one, the deer broke the middle out of it. So I have no choice. It's going to be an open center tree. But it'll be all right. You know, heck, I don't mind having an open center tree. Makes things easier to pick. This one was Orleans Rainette. And then we get into Ashmead's Kernel. We get to try Ashmead's Kernel this year. I'm just really excited about that. There's my Franklin cider. I got that as a freebie from Starks Brothers. It had a really crooked trunk. I think that's probably why they were giving it away for free. But it's healthy. It's a nice tree. The deer broke the top out of it, so they basically made my decision to make it a delayed open center for me. See, that's the kind of growth I like to see. Look at that. All these lighter green, that's all new this year. That's already, what is that? Over a foot already? Look at them Jonna Golds. Beautiful apples. And they seem to be resistant to plum cucurlio and codling moth, which is awesome. I put up electric netting to protect my strawberries from the rabbits. My comfrey. I'm really excited to have comfrey. So this goes down about 3/4 of the way on this so far. I have comfrey, daylily, comfrey, daylily, all the way down. And I'm hoping that that will close up this border and make it a good rhizome barrier to keep the grass out. This is Golden Delicious. Pretty much all of these trees are Golden Delicious except one that died, and I replaced it with a Pink Lady. And you can see I have strawberries, daylilies, daffodils, raspberry, which didn't make it. Let's see, what else is in there? Egyptian walking onions, hascaps. That's a hascap bush. Indigo Gem is the variety on that one, I think. I have several different varieties of hascaps. And Asiatic lilies along the border of the other side. Those strawberries are looking good. I planted those last year, that one there, the big ones. And they had a little birdhouse. It ain't being used yet. It's a wren house. Gooseberry, that's a start that I shoved in the dirt. I just took it from Mom and Dad's plant and took the cutting down here and took off the bottom leaves and just shoved it down into the mulch and dirt. So far it's still alive. There's a fig. Look at that. Them little rabbits, somehow he got in there and chewed on the fig. It's time to have fried rabbit. Autumn olive. That one is a cultivar autumn olive. I have a wild one in here too somewhere. I think it's down there. Lupine. Hascaps, serviceberry. That's another fig, Chicago hardy fig. So I used to work for Jesse Titsworth in his melon patch, and Jesse developed a cantaloupe, or he called it muskmelon, which a muskmelon is really musky smelling. You know, it's a type of cantaloupe, and he called it the Superstar. So everybody around in this area knows Titsworth melons, and I wanted to keep his seeds going, so I've been keeping his Superstar melons going ever since he died. And he used Crimson Sweet for watermelon, which you can get those anywhere. But his muskmelon, the only way you can get it, as far as I know, is from keeping his seeds. Now, Farm and Home had that melon. They called it the Superstar, and they called it a muskmelon. I'm very skeptical as to that being the real Titsworth muskmelon. So that's why I bought it, and I put it here to make sure that there's no cross-pollination or no confusion as to what it is. And when it fruits, we'll decide if that's the actual Titsworth melon. I guarantee you I will know the difference. So, kind of a neat experiment to do. I have his melons growing right now in the garden. in our vegetable garden area, along with crimson sweet watermelon. And I have a sea berry, sea buckthorn they call it, some of them. I have several of those. They're not looking great. I mean, they're alive, some of them. That one back there died. Those are expensive plants, man. To have one of those die, it really hurts the pocketbook. I have rosemary starting there. Another sea berry. And look at that elderberry plant. That thing is doing fantastic. They like this mulch, the elderberries do. They like anything that holds moisture in their roots. So that's the full tour. We'll see y'all next time.